The king is dead! Long live the king!
Welcome,
thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome to Erebor. Bring up the bling.
Oh, gosh!
The Battle of the Five Armies was originally to be shot at the end of principal photography. So by taking the battle, moving it a year later, it really helped to take the pressure off everyone, particularly Peter. It, cut his workload in half, which gave everyone a bit of breathing room.
But I'm actually enjoying this right now.
All of that kind of pressure that I'd been under for so long, you get to that point where you realise, oh, I kind of know what I need to do now and pretty much know what I'm going to shoot from this point forward. So you can afford to you can afford to relax a little bit and just think, well, I may as well just enjoy this last patch.
There was a moment in the counting room where PJ was obsessively counting every jewel in the dwarves' hoard. I remember standing behind him, looking at him, thinking, why are you doing that? They're not real.
They were shooting a scene in Erebor where Thorin holds up a necklace.
The white gems of Lascalan.
Because he had a shot in mind when Thorin kind of throws the necklace to the side and the gems would kind of spray towards camera.
We had these big bowls of mixed diamonds, with all sorts of different things in there. And we were all really busy and he could see that, so he asked me to set him up a table.
And Peter spent the morning sorting through all of these gems to get only the little tiny white ones.
It's something I enjoy doing. I could do this all day long. It's good. Thousands of them.
He is having a good time. He loves it.
Yeah, it's nice.
And everyone sees that.
Especially in the last few weeks, it became a real sort of a family almost with the crew.
All right, well, we should just shoot this.
We shall.
There's to be a great feast tonight. Songs will be sung, tales will be told.
We shot our farewell to Bilbo towards the end of principal photography.
And it was actually a strange feeling. We were coming to an end time of actually working together so closely.
And this was the culmination of a very, very long period of time where you got to know a group of people very, very well, and that you had made something together that you were proud of.
You cannot get as close as we've all got on a film like this and not feel something. These guys have been my brothers, my kin, for the last 18 months. I think everybody felt like that.
So guys, this is bittersweet. You've come to basically say goodbye to Bilbo.
I get emotional now thinking about it because, oh boy, it was like suddenly we realised that this was coming to an end. And we knew that Martin was going to be one of the first guys to go. And honestly, it was like saying goodbye to Martin. It wasn't hard, put it that way, to be emotional about it.
Well, I think I'll slip quietly away. Will you tell the others I said goodbye?
You can tell them yourself.
I have to say Martin was astonishing and really great performance.
Well, if any of you are ever passing Bag End, tea is at 4. There'll be plenty of it. Always welcome. Don't you bother knocking.
He's a very generous actor, both on and off camera. A lot of actors, when they're doing their lines when they're not on camera, kind of drop out. They're just feeding you the line, just so that you can hear the line and respond to it.
Oh, you've got my shot, fine, I'm off. Not Martin.
You help, you help each other in whatever way you can. And so I was just sort of saying, half as Bilbo, kind of half as me, what an amazing time it had been.
The camera was over his shoulder, the camera was on us, and when he did his farewell, he cried. And it was really hard to keep together.
Well, tea's at 4. I can barely look at you, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. You know how I feel about you, and I'm not really able to say it. But I hope I see you again one day, all of you.
So come by, don't bother knocking. I was kind of saying different things to them every take, just because I thought, well, I better make it fresh and interesting each time or something, otherwise it'll be really boring by take 3 and they'll really be having to squeeze out any tears, you know. Make sure I've still got my silverware when you come to bag end, please. Don't want you nicking off with any of it. I used to be scared of you, darling, you wouldn't believe it. Feel free to drop in and eat me out of house and home yet again. That's not an instruction, Bomber.
He was so great, and he was just looking at us right in the eye, and yeah, that was a big scene.
I think if you let a bit of real life in, I think it's quite telling, I think.
It's quite sad. It's quite a sad little scene.
Here lies Thorin, son of Thrain, son of Thrall.
Morning. Morning. This is my finest work.
Yeah.
I love my lines. I never walk
Good job. Even dead, he still doesn't shut up.
Dead dwarf. We were placed on plinths, and we were just lying there, you know, like dead. And then the dwarves were, you know, saying their goodbyes.
We were saying goodbye to these 3 characters, although they were lying, possibly asleep on these blocks. I know Dean was asleep.
How's it being dead? Is it all right?
It's cool, yeah.
It looked quite relaxing.
It is relaxing until you feel like you're going to fall asleep, and then you scare yourself.
Hey, how's my double chin age?
Oh, I can't even see it, mate. That big fat beard covers your fat face. Thank God. We will give you a dignified death.
Yeah, all right. That's really perfect. Okay, lunchtime.
It's an interesting turn in the story, I think. You know, for The Hobbit, Tolkien, when he came up with it, it's an interesting way of ending the book. In that, you know, 3 characters and the lead character, they die.
3 of them don't come back. The weakest.
The worst fighting family in the world.
Yes.
All 3 of them go, eh? You won't last, you're definitely gone.
But ultimately his own fault.
Yeah. Well, just bad fighting.
Yeah.
Tell you that was true though. Thorin, this great warrior. Thorin, Kitty, Philly, gone. The Irish, they're in the bar at 9:30.
I always imagined Dwalin just looking in utter contempt at their dead bodies. But somehow Peter didn't want that. He wanted emotion.
Why him? Take me instead.
Just huge ropes of
Peter was playing this quite sad, haunting music throughout the scene, and it was really lovely.
I remember going to Tony Johnson, our sound recordist, and getting him to dig out the one piece of music that I'd used in the past for this particular type of scene was Puccini's humming chorus. May or may not help. I mean, you can see I've got Puccini's humming chorus, which is quite a gentle, sad kind of piece.
It's a beautiful piece of music, and it's kind of soars and it drops, and it's got kind of a cadence to it that gets you into a kind of a rhythm, which is a rhythm of loss.
According to legend, Puccini was sitting at the shore of a lake somewhere in Switzerland, and way in the distance, in the middle of the lake, he saw a boat capsize and he saw somebody drown. And he immediately sat down and he wrote the humming chorus to emotionally deal with what he'd just seen.
Didn't bother trying to save him. No?
I think he was inspired to write some music and was a bit too busy.
That's fine, no, I'm not judging. I'm not judging at all.
Don't put the camera down, Puccini. Maybe he should have helped. Rather than stand up there. So I think, stop writing music, Puccini. Put your shoes on. We need help. There's 3 old washerwomen fucking trying to drag 12 sailors out.
Good to see that Puccini was such a humanitarian.
I don't know whether it's true or not, but...
The other part of the scene was where Gandalf presented this eulogy to the rest of the dwarves.
Originally, we had Gandalf eulogize them, really because I think partly we wanted to set up the notion that the dwarves were letting go of Thorin and acknowledging the new king under the mountain, which is Dane.
And action.
The king has come unto his own, under mountain, under stone.
That stuff's pretty hard to beat when you're having a funeral eulogy to a much-loved figure spoken by Ian McKellen. It's pretty hard to top that.
Send him now unto the deep, unto earth, eternal sleep, under mountain, under stone.
Under mountain, under stone.
I mean, that's what he's about, sharing his thought and emotion with you. I mean, he does it with Shakespeare, and he does it with Tolkien.
Through all the lands, let it be known, the king is dead.
Is everybody shouting "Long live the king" afterwards?
Yeah, they should do, shouldn't they? Yeah. And as you raise your weapons, you say "Long live the king."
Long live the king! Long live the king!
I think we were saying "Long live the Hobbit" as much as we were saying "Long live the king," because you know, it'll be with us forever, and I feel very lucky to have been on the journey.
By that final week of principal photography, we know each other so well. You know, we found the things that make each other laugh. We know how to get through a 15, 16-hour day and keep our spirits high. So putting Lee Pace, Ian McKellen, and myself and Martin Freeman in a tent together, you know, you're just asking for trouble, really.
Yeah, just do one kind of thing. Yes.
Like that.
Like that. Just like that. Can you be my hand up?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'd asked Lee if I could have a pair of his elf ears that he'd used, that he wasn't going to use again, because they were new every day. Can you imagine how many elf ears they must have gone through? My God. So I said I wanted a pair. I can hear so much more.
No, so questions are basically, Lee, where you're going to be. I mean, you could be sitting, sipping wine on a chair.
It's so funny. All I do in this movie is sit. I sit on my throne. I sit on my chair in the tent. I sit on my horse. But Luke, I think, has never once sat down.
Well, I haven't sat down yet.
He's going through windows. He's running across rooftops. He's always active in this movie.
Well, I don't know. You can be. I think you'd be pacing around with you. You'd be a little bit more anxious. But it's down. Sorry. I know you love the day sitting down, but it's a good try. That was a good attempt.
Thanks, guys. Still rolling.
Desert.
And 3, 2, 1, action.
Is gold so important to you? Would you buy it with the blood of dwarves?
Will not come to that. This is a fight they cannot win.
That won't stop them. You think the dwarves will surrender? They won't. They will fight to the death to defend their own.
The barbarians!
He's a spy!
He's a dwarfish spy.
Ryan's dinner. Let's thank God. Nice, man. Welcome back, Ryan.
She's moving boulders.
That was good, Martin, for you. There was somebody else who will remain nameless, whose name starts with Ryan.
I think we've really got on. We've really had a laugh, and he likes to beat me up a lot. So
It's almost like an ear clip, isn't it? It's almost just like a. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's fine. I didn't mean to do that.
Poor Ryan. My God.
Okay, that's what it's.
He's a dwarfish spy. I don't trust him, sire.
Let him be. No, let him through.
Dwarvish spy, indeed. Do I look like a dwarf?
It's my longest project by a long way. I haven't done anything else approaching that amount of time. I don't know many people who have.
Let him be. Let him through.
Dwarvish spy, indeed. Do I look like a dwarf?
Not in the least.
That was actually quite good.
Oh.
Actually quite good.
Can we have a look?
Can you have a look? Yeah, sure, in 2013. No, you can have a look now.
Yeah, okay. It's good, it's fun. I didn't feel like I'd rapped yesterday. You know, I was just going to go, and Caro said, look, say something, because otherwise people think it's kind of weird. They'll want to acknowledge the fact that this is your picture rap. And I kind of thought, yeah, this is sort of momentous, but I can't blow it all now. You know what I mean? Like if I do my crying scene now, I'll have nothing to do in pickups next year. So I saved it up and was very conservative.
See you later, folks. I'll save up goodbyes for later. We'll wear them out now.
Yeah, we had goodbyes.
Yeah.
We all had goodbyes.
See you later.
At the end of photography, like always, you basically wrap one key actor every day.
All right, so we're just going to say a temporary farewell to Lee. Hold your chair back. And chairs can be purchased at the door on your way up. My old joke, it always works. Never mind. That's for you to practice with.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
Is that what I think it is?
Yeah.
That is
And don't forget to bring it back next year so we can...
Need it for the
so we'll need it for pickups.
Need it for the filming?
No, it's a joke.
Thank you, all of you. I've loved getting to know you. It's been an incredible experience.
So this is my last day on the set of The Hobbit. I'm just about to walk up the stairs to find an army of elves have entered Dale.
Here we go, and action.
The children, the wounded, and the women come first. What news from the Night Watch?
All quiet, sire. Not much to report.
Lovely. Good. It was Lincoln Ryan's last shot of 2012.
Yeah, it's over. I'll get emotional if we talk about it too much, but it's been an amazing job, amazing experience. I've loved every minute of it. Every minute. Yeah, I've got to go back to reality now. I'm not sure whether I'm ready for that, but...
Well, Luke, it's been an absolute pleasure to work with somebody from Wales, being Welsh extraction myself.
That's true. Yeah.
I haven't quite learnt that...
You've got time.
I've got time. Luke's trying to teach me the longest place name in Wales, which any good Welshman has to learn. So I've got a bastardised version of it.
Oh, that's all right.
Clanfair, Pilgrim, Gilgagary, Shimmering, Drobwell, Cantersilio, Go, Go, Gok.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
I have to improve. I have to improve.
When you're with people for like a year in film, it's very unusual to do that. And so I feel like, well, I don't feel like, I know I'm leaving a family behind here, so that's quite nice. Thank God. Oh, wow. It's the real thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, guys.
Just get that set, Zane's face upwards so he's not upside down. Ready to go.
The wheel would always be preceded by music.
Tony!
He took the wheel very seriously, Zane, and so I had to take the music very seriously.
Okay, now another wonderful weekend of Wacky Wheel of Wonder. Harvard High.
Just to spice things up, I think Zane came up with the idea that on a couple of the spots that it would land on, it was like a trivia question had to be answered, and then you would win the prize. And there was Beatle trivia, Tolkien trivia.
So the deal is you keep your radio on and the crew will try to help you.
Ian McKellen has been touring a one-man show around New Zealand to raise money for a theatre in Christchurch. What was his first stop on the tour?
In the Necky, Stratford.
Yes!
But Zane really quickly realized what was going on.
I've noticed that some people have been cheating because they come up here and answer questions with headsets on and earpieces. So everyone will now be checked for an earpiece before they get a question.
I mean, I had to keep my mouth shut with the Beatles trivia, unsuccessfully at times, if I remember rightly.
Over men and horse hoops and garters.
Lastly, through a hogshead of real fire.
God damn it!
And then
it kind of took a life of its own.
Peter got on board and got very excited about this and was like, well, I'll throw some prizes in.
There are a few new prizes on the wheel, courtesy of Sir Peter Jackson and company.
There were trips to Sydney.
Luxury lodge stay for the weekend, and it was all like, whoa, we've taken this to a whole new level now.
It just got out of control. It had a few contentious moments over the course of time.
Some people, yeah, some people won more than once.
Eric, VFX. Eric, VFX.
Oh, Eric from Visual Effects.
Eric Sandin would win almost every week. It was ridiculous.
People were getting angry.
Every time a name got drawn, I heard, I hope it's not him again.
Oh, no. Eric.
There's no justice in the world.
I won a night at a nice hotel.
Night at the Museum Hotel. And if you ever win anything again.
I won 2 different trips to Sydney.
Second weekend in Sydney.
And I also actually won Stephen Fry's stash, which when Stephen Fry rapped, I ended up with all his leftover booze.
And then we came towards the end of filming, and there was this wonderful moment where Peter and Zane really wanted to, you know, have big kind of blowout prizes that were stuck on the wheel.
On that wacky wheel, there was a label for north, south, east, and west, and we didn't know what that meant.
Oh, yeah. These are kind of fun things, but if you get one, you won't know till the end what it is.
And everybody kind of wondered what was going on.
It's like, yeah, just wait, just wait.
Dave Shaw.
We spin the wheel.
There you go.
And then he wins west.
Don't lose it.
And so they basically kept spinning it until someone had won north, someone had won south, someone had won east, and someone had won west.
Bruno.
I got north.
So they called everyone up and revealed what those prizes were.
I will start with South.
South.
Congratulations, you have 2 tickets to the world premiere of The Hobbit.
That person won 2 tickets for the world premiere of The Hobbit in Wellington. So all of us went, oh, that's an amazing prize.
East. I am happy to give you an unexpected journey to Tokyo.
Holy hell.
West, 2 tickets to New York.
And you could tell I was thinking north, north, north. Like, what is it going to be?
2 tickets to London, to the London premiere of The Hobbit.
So it was like the 4 big premieres, and this was just like, whoa, this is crazy.
That's amazing. Plane tickets plus the premiere of The Hobbit, all paid by Peter.
Excuse me, sir.
It's the final call sheet?
Yes, it is. For principal photography.
You gotta make sure Peter signs this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Bridget.
Okay, I'm just going to write a farewell to some of the crew who are finishing tomorrow as well. It might take a while.
We can fast forward this bit.
There you go. Still leaves room?
Yeah, it's just enough. Peter might have a bit of room. Hey, Peter, I've got the final call sheet for you, sir, if you'd like to sign it.
Right.
You can sign it wherever you like. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Last day.
266. We're still standing. Think how many hours we've stood on these concrete floors.
We've been shooting for 2 years, so we got to know a lot of people very well. We saw some of the people more than we saw our wives, partner, kids.
It's going to be quite sad for me to leave. I've nearly slept with everyone in the office, so it's going to be a bit hard.
I don't know if I'll ever do another job that's that long, really. Staying within 3 metres of Angus.
3 metres for 3,000 hours.
Probably more of an achievement than actually doing the 266 days.
So what's kind of the mood on set today?
People were looking forward to finishing, but then they also knew they were going to be coming back for work in the new year. So they knew it was coming to an end, but not really.
Don't be lulled into a false sense of security.
Oh.
The last move.
Coming through.
Yeah, we've just walked into F stage here, and we're about to do our last scene. And 18 months ago, this was the stage that we started in. When you look into this big empty space, and you think about all the different sets that we've had in here, and we started with Golem's Cave, we've had Theangel's Wine Cellar, we've had Treasure Chamber. We came together in this stage, and we're going to part in this stage.
Look out!
I remember the lighting crew coming in and circling into the stage.
Do it again!
I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you, man.
You should have stopped my job.
Mark, are you?
That's easy. You mean you actually get paid to do that? I mean, it's so simple.
Not very much.
No, no. Okay, and action.
Wait, Beyond, wait! Listen to me. You must listen to me. You wizards. You were sent here to protect Middle-earth, to guard against your return of evil. You have failed.
All right, okay. So how was that, boys? Any camera problems with that?
No, I'm not sure about that one.
No? Well, unless anybody has anything else they want to shoot, I think we should call that a day. Thank you. Zane, you're grabbing that other thing?
Yes.
Yep. And I just wanted to ask Andrew to come forward to take possession of a of a slate that was expertly clapped.
Oh, excellent work. Yes. Thank you very much.
Well, obviously, I just want to say thank you to everybody, an incredible cast, incredible crew. Seems like a lifetime ago that I had to do this speech at the beginning of the shoot. Oh, God, it was a long time ago. You know, as a director, it can be kind of a lonely job. You know, at times you feel like you're by yourself trying to solve problems, but then everybody steps in and suddenly I realise I've got this incredible support and all of you guys have got my back and you're behind me. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful. Thank you.
Well, I think there's bubbles right next door.
Champagne.
Cheers. You know, I'm a reasonably sentimental person, so I don't particularly enjoy these sorts of days. You get a sense that it's, you know, the last day that you're going to spend with friends, so it's a chance to really reflect on what we've been through over the last 18 months, which has been a hell of a lot. I kind of feel like I've changed a little bit in the last 18 months. I feel like I'm a different person now to what I was when I started shooting this. So I don't know. It's a strange day. It's a weird day. You can't really put it into words.
Thank you all very much.
Dale was built and designed to encompass the battle from the Battle of the Five Armies.
It's a lethal weapon.
But when we finished principal photography for good, or what we thought was for good, we hadn't done any of the battle in Dale.
We did these relatively small sequences in the scheme of the movies.
Lovely. Thank you very much. You can cut that. Fantastic, folks. Thank you very, very much. It was really well done.
After we'd finished principal photography, everyone knew that we hadn't even touched the Battle of Five Armies, and that we still had all of that to do.
We knew that in a year's time we were coming back, so we had to do a lot of wrapping up and preserving this huge set piece as well as we could.
And there it sat on the top of Mount Crawford for over a year.
So after Pete had finished with principal shooting, of course at that time it was only going to be 2 movies at that point. And then there was and then as we broke up and we went to Comic-Con, I think it was announced that it was going to be 3 movies.
From the very beginning of this project, 2.5 years ago, a third movie has always been in discussion.
Look, at the end of the day, you know, you end up with a film that's too long.
Because we went to 3 movies, it did require us to expand some of the storylines and to resolve some of them in slightly different ways. That's all being worked out now, as we speak. You know, a battle is a whole little movie unto itself with a story and a narrative and a momentum and characters interweaving with plots and things. And finally, I had my pre-production time that I never had at the beginning, and I had almost a year to have more thinking time to figure out the battle. Oh, it's all very nice, isn't it?
By then, of course, we had a better idea of where the big battles were going to take place. There was a lot more information.
It was cool revisiting Dale. You sort of felt like it had been a bit lonely up there by itself for the year until we came back in the pickups in 2013.
We're just pulling off all the coverings right now, getting it ready to go.
We revisited Dale and shot the hell out of it, basically.
There you go, it's going to be exciting.
I would be dead if this was real. I would have been the first to go.
Everyone came back refreshed and ready to work. You know, everyone was sort of re-energised and they knew it was the end.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome back.
That unless someone decided there was going to be a 4th film, this was it.
Yo, we're back. Look out. Yeah.
All right, let's shoot.
Time for some action. Right on, right on. Let's do this.
You know, pickups, you generally think of, oh, we just need to pick this shot up here and this shot here.
Need hobbit hands, you get down.
These felt not so much like pickups. It was like, Christ, we've got to do the Battle of the Five Armies in this time, which is bigger than most movies, you know.
Pickups this time, we were actually shooting scripted drama scenes with lead cast for the whole time.
Will it stay his madness? No, lad.
Plus, we shot the dragon at the end of film 2. We shot Bree.
Let's go, shoot.
So, in many ways, that pickup period was the most intense in terms of what we had to accomplish.
Back.
And there was a sense of trepidation.
Because Peter is kind of known for extensive, ongoing pickups.
Okay, let's shoot it, guys. Shoot it, please.
And he's fearless that way. He makes no apologies for making the best film that he can make. That is his attitude, is whatever I have to do to make the best film I can make, I'm going to do it.
We were comparing people's tales of Lord of the Rings and how long that end battle took.
On Return of the King pickups, I mean, we were meant to shoot for 6 weeks and we shot for 22 weeks, so...
And they were saying, well, in Lord of the Rings, the battle alone was a 4-week shoot and we're not even there yet. We haven't even started the battle yet.
And so, yeah, we were all talking about it.
The speculation went on. We're going to be here until the end of the year. We're going to be here to the end of the year.
Literally every day, everyone was going, do you realise how much we've still got to do? You know, the time is ticking. Time is ticking.
All back to Dale! To the city! Now is the hour of our doom. We have but one question before us. How shall this day end?
It definitely felt like you had to sort of galvanise yourself for the final push, you know.
Any man who wants to give their last, follow me!
The Battle of Dale was epic in terms of numbers. We set a New Zealand record in terms of the amount of stunt people hired for one particular project.
Action!
When we were shooting Dale, I had a crew of about 130 stunt guys.
We've got the biggest stunt contingency ever. Do a 360 pan. Yeah, check it out. It's crazy here.
We've been rehearsing and working out little sequences that we can actually put anywhere on the set. I'd shoot them and offer them up to Peter.
Okay. We had charges from the orcs, we had charges from the humans, we had standoffs, we had clashes, we had retreats. A lot of the stuff that we had on Lord of the Rings, like Pelennor Fields, was all based around large expansive areas. What we've never really had or not had much of was house-to-house, close-quarter battle.
The battle was so tight that there was nowhere to move, and it looked like pure mayhem. It was just wall-to-wall people just struggling to stay alive.
You know, that was really where we did a lot of stunt action. We did a lot of live action filming in the Dale set.
The tone of this fight is fighting to the last man. It's not victory, it's not... God, I'm not that fast, okay?
Because we really didn't have any dwarfs there, so scale-wise, it was a lot easier to deal with because we had humans, we had orcs and elves. So scale-wise, everything was on par, which meant that we could do a lot of the action live at Dale.
There is this one scene when we enter a square in Dale and all these orcs just come running at us. There's no CGI at all. The adrenaline was pumping that day, I have to say.
Do you want Billy and Tim?
I got pulled aside by Caro and said, hey, Billy Jackson's one of the extras today. We want to give him a couple of fight beats.
It's really intense. You just have to, you know, really try and pretend like you're there.
And Billy, give us a good neck slash at the end there. Really put a bit of elbow grease into it. Sure Vinny won't mind. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1, action.
Yeah, he certainly clobbered one of the stunt guys hard enough where he bends a sword.
Yeah, I bent my sword. I was hitting it so hard against the orc shield.
That was great, Bill, what you were doing, and not so bad either.
What a way. We had a main unit with Peter directing, and then we had a splinter unit with Christian Rivers directing, and they had a pretty high work rate.
There are a lot of fight beats that you need to actually just tell the story. So we used to do a lot of those fighting beats and things like that. It was always an adventure because you didn't really know what you were actually going to do.
You know, sometimes on Splinter Unit we'd have a very loose brief. I mean, Pete would, up on Dale, Pete was just like, I need shots today of Orcs winning, Lake Towners losing. And we'd sort of shoot these little separate vignettes all over the place.
The problem is, and I'm sure everybody's ever said this, anybody who has to fight an orc will tell you this story, is that, you know, you do a lot of stunt training, and, you know, you're fighting these great stunt guys, and you know which one you have to fight next. Yeah, it's you, and then you, then you, then you, and then you, and then you. And then all of a sudden you get on set, and they all have full prosthetic faces, teeth, black blood coming out of their mouth, eye contact. They can't really speak properly.
I can't see it. Hold on. Huh?
And they're all coming up to me, Luke, and I'm thinking, I have no clue who any of you are.
Who's that? Who's in there? All right.
And then you have to start looking at their costume and working out what distinguishes this orc from that orc. So I found that quite difficult.
Oh my God, just go for a slice, man.
See this here? Look at this. Now, in Lord of the Rings, people were wearing this. This is metal chainmail. This is about 5 kilograms of metal that I'm carrying around in this shop. Weta is famous for creating this chainmail which wasn't as heavy. It's like made of a sort of an alloy or plastic or something like that. Unfortunately, they'd run out of it when I got to New Zealand. They had plenty of the heavy stuff, so they made my chainmail in the real stuff. How great was that? This is like carrying a baby around.
The chainmail costume that they had for him was one piece, and it was very, very heavy. And then I'm asking him to lead a big charge up the stairs, killing orcs. And in the middle of it, I had choreographed a nice dive roll for him. And he's looking at me like, you're kidding me, right?
How many times have you had to do this particular fight sequence?
10 times, and every time my jump's a little shorter. Everything's a little shorter.
See, I just get better every single time, so
yeah.
we just sort of work off.
That's because you've been trained by the best, boy.
That is true.
And then we'll block it, and just do this. This little block, if you wouldn't mind, Orly.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Nicholas Greenleaf. And you...
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to the film. I don't have my hat on at the moment. When I do, blue and pointy.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God.
We'll finally get to
Kate Blanchett last year and now Evangeline this year. Something is very wrong with the world.
Yeah.
Go horse.
We rode in there on a horse, me and Tariel.
Gandalf!
We did a sequence in the studio that led into that.
Just for safety reason, we put them onto a barrel on a fake horse.
I popped my cherry on the fake horse today. Evie's sitting behind me, shooting arrows off the back.
We were told to sort of exaggerate the horse riding movements.
We were both moving in rhythm.
It really looks like a love story, if you know what I mean, a physical love story between the two.
Looks like she's riding me hard and fast. And it was kind of funny.
It looked like elf porn. And of course it went viral. It ended up online. I was glad it ended up online because it needed to be put to some bad 1970s porn music and taken advantage of.
Sorry. So we had to sort of mix it up. It was like, well, maybe, you know, the front of the horse does something different to the back, because otherwise it really looks like, lube me up, darling.
There is a second army! Bolg leads a force of Gundabad orcs. They are almost upon us.
Gundabad.
We shot for 3 days with Ian McKellen and Dale, and there was the whole Gandalf staff incident. I shouldn't even say it. I shouldn't even talk about the staff.
Gandalf actually had 2 staffs in The Hobbit. We wanted to have a totally new staff that he would arrive in the story with. And Philip had mentioned that Gandalf being associated with fire, like his ring is a ring of fire. So actually used a flame as a kind of a model for the look of the top of the staff, as if it were a flame turned to wood.
There's a point in the story where Gandalf's staff is destroyed by Sauron. And shortly after that, Radagast gives him his staff and says, take this, you'll need it.
If what you say is true, then you'll need it more than I. I hand it to Gandalf. And he takes it into the Lord of the Rings. Off he goes.
That is the staff that you see Gandalf with in Lord of the Rings. That's where he gets it from.
But nobody knew that when they were watching the film. That was mine.
Once Gandalf had that staff, throughout the battles that happen, we would slowly break off pieces.
I mean, they can just fall off as if whacking orcs with it.
Because he spends so much time kind of bashing orcs with this thing that twigs can kind of break off, and it can actually become that kind of final staff just through a process of wear and tear.
So by the end of the Battle of the Five Armies, there was the staff that he has in Fellowship of the Ring. So it was like a nice evolution. Anyway, we shot the scene for 3 days, and he had the wrong staff.
My lord, dispatch this force to Ravenhill.
I turned up with my old staff, which had been destroyed. Well, that wouldn't do, and I don't know who pointed it out to me, but someone was more on the ball than I.
Gandalf didn't figure it, I didn't figure it. The other 33,000 people watching didn't figure it. Until Peter finally twigged and went, he's got the wrong staff. And we realised Peter was right.
Yep. The prop guy that day was having a bit of an off day, obviously.
One of the art department guys, I won't mention his name, Matt, gave him the wrong staff.
Epic continuity error.
One of the very few errors.
One that Peter did care about.
Hopefully they've fixed it in post. Hi, VFX.
We actually had to go back and digitally replace the wrong staff with the proper staff in every shot. I still get apologies from Matt.
Abandon the cripples!
And reset.
We needed some more elderly people to be extras. So I just decided, well, it would be great if we went to one place where they all were, and then if we needed a whole bunch of them, we could bring them out together.
My name is Arthur Avis from the Somerset Retirement Village at Aotea. On my left, we have Earl Cunningham, David Bowie, and John Cowan. He's the good-looking guy over on the far side. Ron Dunbar, he's a computer expert, and our snooker champion, Vic Smith.
It was a fantastic casting experience, actually, because we went to their village and had a bit of a chat and got to meet everybody, so it was a fantastic way to collect extras.
Hollywood, here we come. Off to kill Orcs.
And they all came together in the Somerset Retirement Village van, and what was really sweet was we just drove them straight through the set, all the way right up to wardrobe and makeup. You know, these extras were hand-delivered in their own van, and they felt really, really important, because they were.
There was a really demanding scene that we shot where they charge out of the Great Hall.
The first thing that they encountered was actually 2 flights of steps.
And all of a sudden, we were looking at these stairs going,
We had people there right up until their 70s and 80s.
We had Dorothy. She was probably the eldest extra on the set.
86, I think, something like that. And she became the Queen of Extras, I think is what she was called.
I get treated like the Queen around here. Oh, I'd like to have been an elf. An elf? Yes. We make good elves. They don't have any old elves.
You're right doing that stunt, eh?
Yeah, it's good as gold.
Charge them through as fast as you can. Lots and lots of screaming and gusto.
It's a good day today.
Action!
They came charging down the stairs, up and over steps, through fountains. They were troopers.
Okay, cut.
They're absolutely brilliant, and nobody got injured.
Oh, you're going down.
I'd like to think we are kicking your ass, but that ain't happening.
We absolutely go into battle with them, and it's fantastic. And I get to kill an orc, which is a great triumph.
Okay, lots of energy, orcs. Lots of aggression, late towners. Get charged up, ready to die. Get charges up.
3, 2, 1, action! And cut.
That's just like American gridiron.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Lake Towners are turning the tides on the Orcs. I'll tell you what, in Dale, it's a resurgence of the Lake Towners.
Alfred, towards the end of the movie, of course, he is a snivelling coward and only concerned about wealth.
At this point, you may have noticed I'm dressed as a woman in order to pan out.
It's like, Alfred, You slip showing. You know, and then
We were trying to make this bra, basically, that would then hold all these coins, and these coins are really quite heavy.
got quite a lot of stuff. Yes, it can. It'll fall out.
So we'd stuff it and we'd get it big and we'd go and show Pete. And he'd say, it's not big enough. I want bigger. He says, I want Diana doors.
I'm top heavy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Bosoms full of gold.
It's about breasts of gold. It's about the titties of gold. The boobs full of gold. Get up.
Normally, the light would get to a certain point and you had to really stop because the light dropped too low for the camera. However, we did decide to keep going. We were on a roll, and so Andrew started pulling out lights, and we kept filming and kept filming.
Action.
Halfway through a take, I'm like, have we got pyros on this shot?
Is it a smoke alarm?
That's a lot of smoke. That's a lot of smoke.
Bit of a fire.
Then obviously a very well-oiled safety team kind of swing into gear, go rushing off to find how extensive it is.
We quickly realized it was actually the generator who was supposed to feed all the power for all the lights who actually caught on fire.
Richard finally set fire to the truck, eh? Sucked so much juice it couldn't handle it anymore.
After the fire brigade extinguished the fire, we made sure that everything was safe. There's still smoke going on.
You know, there was literally like huge billowing smoke coming out the back of the set.
I think Smoke is sitting behind that wall, puffing away. I think he's sitting there.
Obviously, it was all being taken care of and nobody was in any danger, but it was nice to hear Peter say, do we have to evacuate? And then someone to say, no, it's blowing in the other direction. And then for him to say, OK, then, rolling.
All right, shall we shoot? I mean, yes. Yes. We just carried on the other side of the set while there's plumes of black, ominous, Smaug-esque smoke floating up behind Dale. You know, it couldn't have been more perfect.
Peter and Carol was like, OK, is everyone safe? Nobody's hurt? The set is safe? Thank you, guys. Just let's cut that siren and keep shooting, please. And I think within 10 seconds...
There you go, and action.
We cut the sirens and then we were shooting again. And Peter was like, well, that's perfect, even as a background. Maybe we should just turn the camera and just have that smoke going on in the background. That would be perfect.
And cut it. That was a great one. Let's do one more. That was terrific, Ron. That was terrific.
In the Battle of the Five Armies and also in the extended edition, we have just one scene with an acorn that Bilbo has that originally was going to pay off in another scene in Dale. That at the moment is a bit of a standalone gag in the movie where Thorin catches him looking at something. We're supposed to all think he's been caught with the stone.
Obviously we reach now. We don't want to see what comes out.
What is that? In your hand. Show me.
I picked it up in Beorn's garden.
So Bilbo's got this acorn that he's gathered on his travels that he knows is kind of a totemistic thing, that when he gets home he's going to plant it and something beautiful is going to come out of this hell. It's a moment when you see Thorin nearly come back from his madness, and it's because of the simplicity of something that Bilbo's done to just capture this little acorn in his pocket, because he's thinking about home.
You've carried it all this way.
I'm going to plant it in my garden, in Bag End.
And so the acorn became, therefore, a symbol of Bilbo's life, basically. Is he going to live or die? Is the acorn ever going to get planted back in the Shire, or is it not? It's like, you know, in Lone Pine, the Battle of Lone Pine in Gallipoli.
Right.
In Gallipoli, there was a solitary pine tree where the Battle of Lone Pine happened. The Australians got a seedling from the one pine tree that was there, and that pine tree is planted in Canberra in a memorial. And so pines of a dime a dozen, but you know, that came from Lone Pine. The acorn was supposed to be 2 beats. It was supposed to be a beat where we introduced the notion he has it. And then the second beat was one that was taking place in Dale, where Bilbo decides that he's just going to dig a hole right there and then in Dale and plant the acorn there. What there is a sense that you will die, but life will continue.
And are we going to see later in the film the sapling?
Well, you remember that tree in The Lord of the Rings? That's that tree. Which one?
Okay. All right. It was a new scene that had been written, I think, that day, where I reached Gandalf through the crowds of people.
Stand up! The causeway has fallen. The elves still hold the northern gate. Not for much longer.
It really feels like this is the end. This is the end. All right.
Yeah, at this stage of the battle, they think that all is lost.
Get some bowmen up into those towers. There are no bowmen left.
I let myself imagine this city restored. We would take what had been destroyed and rebuild it. We would wash away this sadness. And the streets would once again be filled with life, full of hope. No. Come now. Don't despair. What would you have us do? Huh? Do? Here. I'll show you. Bilbo! What is that?
That's a promise. Beneath all that blood and dirt, there is a chance of new life. It may sound hopeless, it may sound foolish, but really, what else can you do when faced with death? What can anyone do? You go on living. Bilbo knows, or he thinks he knows at this point, he's not ever going to make it back to Bag End. This is as far as I'm going to get. I'm not going to get home, so let's just plant this simple acorn here.
In blood-soaked soil, in the middle of all this brutality, there is this very delicate, fragile, poignant moment.
And I have a memory, a sort of sense memory, I suppose, of there just being blood in that soil and putting the acorn in there, and there was blood on my hands and blood on the earth. So there was something right about that I was planting this life and a beautiful thing in the midst of this horrible blood everywhere.
Cut there. That was terrific. It was starting to feel the loop. It was great.
It's very prophetic and very beautiful, and so yeah, it's been a very lovely day. Yeah, good day to remember.
So the fact we never use that scene in the cut, that then implies that when he arrives home into the Shire, into Hobbiton, he still has that in his pocket. He's able to plant it in his garden. As soon as we finished shooting that shot of Martin and showing the acorn, I went up to him and I said, "Can I have the acorn, please?" I'll take the acorn. Thank you. That's going to be... This is the... I'm going to plant this in the garden, and one day... What's it grow?
It might be growing somewhere right now.
In Peter's garden?
Yeah, yeah. One day it'll grow. And every time I look at it, I'll remember.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you all. Thank you. Good night.
Remember everything that happened, the good, the bad. And how lucky I am that I made it home.
And the road goes ever on.
It's the eagles, I hear them. The eagles.
Is this the second or third movie? Is this 2 or 3? Oh, it's 3, is it? Is this 3? Yeah. It's 3. There you go. It's that easy to be confused. I really came back to do pickups, and I shot pretty much every day, either on first or second unit, doing action sequences and stuff that was linking the character and the stories. I have a great sequence hanging upside down from a giant bat.
Your head height is about the same height as the orcs, and you've got your knives and you're slicing them as this thing's kind of going crazy through the orcs, you know?
Peter walked in one day and explained how Orlando was going to be hanging upside down under this bat and he was going to shoot orcs.
Rather than the bow, though, we'll do the knives, you know, which will look bloody fantastic.
Brilliant.
I personally thought that him hanging upside down from a bat was kind of the dumbest idea I'd ever heard of in the entire 6 films. And I was just, oh, God, this is going to look so stupid.
Hey, Christian, keep that in there just so you've got an inspiration.
This is a moment for my 13-year-old son. Flynn, when you are 13, you will love this.
We started off him hanging on some makeshift rings that was going to simulate the claw of the bat.
Even out and pull left. And now to your right. Yeah, see something to your right? Yeah, you're going to fly down there.
So I'm sort of like hang gliding and seeing battle below.
Cool, now, yeah, let's try and swing those knees up.
It was actually quite physical for Orlando. He had to pull himself up, kind of do a flip.
I could probably do that.
So the next thing you know, we're calling our riggers in. We're going to have to put this guy in a harness.
This is why I have a T-shirt saying, I do all my own stunts.
And then, of course, it's Orlando, and he pulls his blades out and just... and he's actually twirling them in his hands while he's upside down. And it was the first take, I was like, oh, okay, maybe this doesn't suck.
Being wired and hung upside down, the blood rushes to your head. You're like making fight moves and connection points, thinking, okay, well, there's an orc coming in here. You know, it was insane.
Okay, cool, cut there. This one, yeah? I think you've got it. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, cool. I think that's cool.
Pete put it in the film, and I'm so happy that he did. I was wrong. The audience loved it.
That's one of those moments when, as an actor, you go to the cinema and you think back on what you did and you see the magic that the visual effects guys have created, and you're like, wow. I had no idea it was going to be that cool.
Here we are today doing the sequence between Bolg and Tariel. She puts up a really good fight with some orcs and with Bolg, but she gets knocked around quite a bit.
It's actually more scary if bang, another one, bang, another one. You know, it's like kind of it's more relentless.
Your ears are melting from the sweat. You feel how sticky they are. Oh my God.
I have melting ears. I'm sweating them off in all of my stunt work.
Evangeline was good enough, and she'd rehearsed and were confident in her ability enough that she did all the fighting during that scene.
You like beating up the boys, don't you? Yeah, all right, okay, let's shoot with you. Stand by and action.
There was one kind of major mishap with the stunts, and it was my fault completely. Somewhere around Orc 4, I think, there's a moment where Tauriel was supposed to sort of evade a blow to her head. She ducks it, and there's an orc's fist coming at her head at full force.
You're coming in and suddenly you got a duck. It's like, it's like, whoa! Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And of course, one take, I forgot the duck. His fist went straight into my head at full speed. And I almost KO'd. I was seeing stars, and I was starting to kind of swoon, and Peter's calling from the tent.
Hey, you good, Evie?
Woo! I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Let's just go again. Let's just get going. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, you cannot pass out. There'll be so much shit to pay if you pass out. You have to stay on your feet. From then on, of course, the great thing was, all the stunt guys were like giving me high fives and patting my back, and they were like, okay, you're one of us now. You took a hit for the team.
One of the scariest you know, gut-wrenching days for me was the stunt fight component of the battle between Bolg and Tauria. I mean, that was the first time I'd done stunts that big.
Smashes her head into here.
Evil. Yeah, okay, bang.
Then he picks her up.
Picks her up and then throws her.
That, which knocks her out.
Oh, yeah.
We're actually designing a fight for an elf to potentially lose. We've never had an elf lose a fight before.
And that was done by my incredible stunt double, Ingrid.
We've been rehearsing this scene probably for about a week and a half now, and they've devised this system that kind of slams me into the wall but catches me at the very last second. So I slam into the wall, but I don't slam through the wall.
And 3, 2, 1, action!
That's just one of those moments when your first instinct is, oh, shit.
Ingrid, you all right? All of us on stage were completely silent.
Yeah. Come down, Henry?
I personally thought that she broke her back.
Same again.
Can't have a look at me.
The smashing against the walls, it hurts a little. Yeah.
When you know you're going to get hit a certain way or you land a certain way, you can put your personal protective gear on. Unfortunately, with the elves, they have very slim costumes.
Quite streamlined, quite sleek, quite corseted. There's not a lot of room under there for padding. So this is the bomb. It's this crazy gel stuff that was actually invented for figure skaters. And it has saved my spine so many times. And this, whilst being elbow protection, also doubles as chicken fillets for the weekend.
But I learned very quickly, you don't do too many of those takes. You are always running, just with the human body, and people get tired.
And cut.
Yep. She put her life in limit risk because that was a pretty dangerous stunt.
It's how we roll. I'm not here for the kudos.
Aren't you?
Yeah, I am, actually.
I love this set because it smells like Canada. Pine trees.
All right, thank you. Here we go. Steadicam's ready. Let's bring Orlando. Thank you very much, sir.
My last scene that I shot would have been the scene with Orlando Bloom where we're walking through the wreckage of Lake Town.
These orcs were different from the others. They bore a mark I have not seen for a long time. The mark of Gundabad.
Gundabad.
Today being my last day on set, Team Evangeline is wearing the official Team Evangeline sweatshirts with the official Team Evangeline logo on the back. Team Evangeline. Leave the self-absorption to me.
It was a running joke that, you know, it's all about me, guys. It's all about me, because on a film set, you've got all these really fantastic, experienced people who are running around and doing things like tying up your corsets. And it's just such a ridiculous thing that I had to make fun of it all the time. And so my team was walking around set that day with these sweatshirts on, and everyone thought that my team had made these sweaters to make fun of me. And then they were like, no, she made them to make fun of herself.
No, I think it's awesome. I think it's great.
That's good.
Yeah,
She can take the piss out of herself.
Yeah, I love people like that.
Yeah.
I ride north. Will you come with me?
To where?
To Gundabad.
All right, let's cut. All right, thank you very much, guys. And it is Evangeline last shot on the Hobby.
So once I wrapped, me and my team, we corked some champagne, and then I was called over to the unit where Peter was working.
Oh, what's this?
I can hold that.
Thank you. Should I open it? This better be what I hope it is.
It's a ribbon. It's a ribbon.
Not this. Ooh, it is.
They gave me a pair of Tauriel's pants, which I have worn out to the club since.
They're really great on my ass. Fantastic.
They were really sexy. And they gave me a set of Tauriel's daggers.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what's so great about this?
is last time I left,
Yes.
and you guys didn't give me a pair of these. I just stole a pair.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I should have a pair, shouldn't I? So now I have my very own real pair.
They're real,
These are
yeah.
metal.
They're metal, yeah.
I've never seen a metal pair.
No.
This is brand new. Watch out, Peter. Watch out. Had champagne. It's been a long time since I found a place where I felt like I could express myself and be the best version of myself. And in New Zealand, I've found that.
Yay, Evangeline!
Oh, 1, 2, 3, Team Evangeline!
This is all a gag. This is the last day. What can we get him to do on the last day?
Give us a version of it, like you're leaping high in the air, right foot, yep, and then, okay, now let's have a look.
We told you not to bite. We're making me look beautiful to kill Bold. It's been a long time coming. He's finally going to get it.
Don't stab yourself in the nuts, for God's sake.
Oh, look at that. Dead on.
I believe that was my last shot, like stabbing his pea brain, as Pete called it.
That's good. That was a good stab.
And he goes, okay, we're going to get this again.
Okay.
You know what I mean, just slightly different kind of tone to it. Anyway, we'll just line up.
The coup de grace. There's a couple of gags I wanted to play on Orlando. One is that Lord of the Rings Fellowship theme that Howard Shaw composed, such a great theme.
You want the...
Yeah. All right, thanks, guys, very much. Shoot.
And I secretly asked the sound department to cue up that Fellowship theme. Didn't tell Orlando.
And they were trying to find it because nobody had it. Couldn't believe it. It says Peter and Fran and basically the whole crew of the Lord of the Rings, and nobody had the fucking track.
Where's the actual soundtrack? Can you not actually... The Lord of the Rings... Oh, the Lord of the Rings Fellowship? Maybe it's not on iTunes.
Hang on a second, we just got an issue here. Hang on.
I think Orlando was wondering what the hell's going on back there, because we're all like, oh, you know.
Go to the Lord of the Rings.
This guy right here, 85 people right now on double time, waiting for this guy to find a fucking song.
And it was hilarious because we had to find it on YouTube.
The 10. It's when he knows to go on the 3, 2, 1. Does he go on the 3, 2, 1? He goes on the 2. All right, you guys can go.
Hey, my God.
3, 2, 1. Action. Go on, go.
And I think he really got into it because he just about drove the knife into the head and twisted it and moved, all with the beat of the music.
It was a little heartbreaking to have the music and have that whole thing go on like that. It's kind of cool.
Hey, thanks very much.
That's why we had to wait, because we were furiously downloading it off of the net.
That's great. I was like, memories come flooding back.
So that's Orlando's last shot, guys. Last shot as Legolas. Yay!
I got Old Crest on rap.
No! Yes. Do I get the beast? The Steely!
I got Old Crest and I got my quiver, which was very cool.
No! My quiver! Oh, God, love you. Thank you so much. Coming back to New Zealand, it's interesting because I've had this amazing journey since this whole thing started, and some of you are here when we were 10 years younger, 14 years younger, and the thing that's always struck me is just the spirit of New Zealand, the people, all of you guys. It's sort of something that I'm so grateful to have been able to come back and experience again, and I hope it will stand me through for the next 15, 20 years, or hopefully more, because the genuine truth and reality of all you people is just something that the rest of the world only gets to experience mostly through watching Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, and that's great thanks to you, Pete. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Courtesy of Orlando, there's some beers for everybody somewhere around here and a bunch of Burger King.
Yeah, beers. Hey.
It was something that Vigo used to do, actually. Vigo was very good at buying beers and making sure that, you know, you show your appreciation. So I certainly took that from him.
I mean, do it kind of. I mean, you can do.
Okay.
Each time I do it, you can do something a bit different. Okay.
I remember on Orlando's last day, Pete doing they're taking the hobbits to Isengard thing.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard!
Saruman. One of the things that came out of Lord of the Rings and Legolas was this spoof online of me taking the hobbits to Isengard. And somebody had done like this really cheesy, funny music and then cut me in and out.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard! God.
And so we just decided to do like a little continuation of that with him joining in with the edited piece.
To Isengard! To Isengard! To Isengard! Isengard! God!
I think the beers had already came out by the time we were filming that.
The hobbits! The hobbits! The hobbits! The hobbits! The hobbits! The hobbits! To Isengard! To Isengard! To Isengard!
I love doing that stuff, you know. Any time I can take the mick out of myself, I'm bang up for it.
If you can't have a few laughs, when can you?
For all intents and purposes, that was my last thing as Legolas, which is kind of ironic and kind of cool, really.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus, it's been filmed. Not a good way to start the day, is it?
As we got towards the end of the shoot, some days very ambitious targets were set for what we could achieve.
It's going to take place here.
Like the day that we were to shoot both the Bilbo-Thorin reconciliation scene along with Gandalf and Bilbo's final scene, just the two of them. And that day stretched on and on as we attempted to achieve both of those things.
The final moments of Thorin's life, that's one of the scenes that you think about from the minute I went in to meet Peter with a potential to play this role, because it was very moving to me when I read the book.
It's a very slight rewrite on the scene that as it exists in the book. We moved it from Dale to a more personal place, which is on the battlefield, so that the two characters, it was just them, and also that Bilbo could hold on to the notion that maybe he could save him.
I remember the day we shot it, and I just asked if I could just lay on the ground, and I didn't want anyone to come in and touch me and do makeup checks, and they did. They left me there on the ground.
We lay Richard down and dressed the snow right up to him, and the last thing I did was put a big pool of blood coming out from underneath him, and it was just one of those scenes where you step back and you look at the monitor and you feel really content. It looked like a painting.
It was kind of spiritual. I just lay there and looked at the roof of the soundstage and listened to all the sounds.
It was one of those scenes where people are quite hushed around it, you know what I mean? Because it was 2.5 years, whatever, after we started shooting. It's the end of this character's journey. So that was, yeah, it was kind of given some weight, I think, on the set.
We won't thrash the wide shot too much. We'll just do, you know, half dozen takes, give you guys a chance to experiment a bit.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think that they wanted it to feel as real as possible so that he didn't have time.
Bilbo, lie still. Don't move.
I'm glad you're here. When characters don't have time to say what they need to say, that creates great drama.
You're not going anywhere. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? You are going to live.
I take back my word and my deed at the gate.
It was kind of the culmination of their very rocky friendship, you know. They'd really been up and down the mountain with each other, you know, and figuratively and literally.
The most difficult words for Thorin to say to Bilbo were, "I'm sorry that I've led you into such peril." It took me right back to the very first scene that I shot with him in Bag End, and the disdain with which Thorin held the Hobbit, yet their whole success has rested on a seemingly insignificant person, which is what I think Tolkien is writing about. I think it's the whole reason Tolkien wrote these books. It's his need to express that the simplest single person can somehow affect big change. And I think that that's captured in that one moment when Thorin apologizes and says thank you to him.
You did what only a true friend would do. Forgive me. I was too blind to see it. I'm so sorry that I've led you into such peril. I remember on the beginning of the day saying to the sound guys, please just get this.
Lie still, lie still. Lie still, don't move. Don't move.
That fine, trembling sensitivity that the voice has in those very emotional moments would have been almost impossible to replicate after the fact.
I'm glad to have shared in your perils, Thorin. Each and every one of them. It is far more than any Baggins deserves.
That's the point that you know that you're going to end in good terms, and when he gives it to you, you can kind of relax and fade away in that last speech of it. Is that? Yeah. Okay.
Will you forgive me before I die? I think that's really the peak of Thorin's journey.
Mr. Buck, go back to your books and your armchair. Plant your trees. Watch them grow. If more people valued harm above gold, the world would be a merrier place.
No, 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 no. Thorin. 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 Just one more moment. Just wait one more moment. The eagles are here, Thorin. Hmm? Hmm? The...
It's quite sweet.
That's great. Yeah. No, it's very good. Very good. I made a little wooden cross to mark the place where we shot the scene, and over the course of the day, some people have laid tributes, which I think you should take a look at. This is the grave of Thorin Oakenshield, who is also now known as Thozza. There's been some really nice flowers made with some cable ties, and I don't know what this is made of, but it says R.I.P. Thorin. And by the end of the day, people had come and laid little things, little tributes on the cross, which I found very moving. But that's the Kiwi way.
Anyway, that's that.
No.
There's an important little scene where Bilbo and Gandalf have to reunite, and we didn't have much time to film it because it was shot at the very end of a day, and a long day. It was Ian McKellen's very last day. He was literally booked on a plane back to England the following day. And as it was, by the time we knocked on his door to get him to come to set, it was like 11 o'clock at night. Everyone was exhausted. We'd been filming since 7 in the morning, and quite honestly, everyone wanted to get home. But we also wanted to make a good thing of this last scene.
Originally, that scene had dialogue in it, and it was a lot longer.
Oh, we got on set and we looked at the pages of this dialogue that Philippa and Fran had written. Not bad dialogue, but the three of us were talking, and somehow collectively it was, well, we don't have much time. Do we really want to say all these words? And then Ian says, oh, there won't be anything more powerful than silence.
I don't think there should be much comfort in this. There are no words to say because there are no words to say. Out of the battlefield, it'll be all right, Sonny.
Yeah. No, it's not. I think it's almost stone-faced people.
Yes.
How do you sum up what's just happened and who we've just lost in a great one-liner or whatever between me and Gandalf?
I think that might be all right if I'm looking at you, but you're in your own. I think the less we do, the better.
And so we just shot the scene without any words being spoken, because for them it's all about the emotion.
Yeah. You know what? This is the finish of there's back in Bag End at the beginning where Bilbo says, "Can you promise me that I'll come back?"
Yeah.
And you say,
No. And if you do, you will not be the same.
It's one of my favourite scenes to do, and it's one of my favourite scenes in the film because of its lack of words, actually. Sometimes some of the best written scenes don't have dialogue in, you know what I mean? And that's good writing. I mean, because it's economical writing.
That's nice. That's nice. That's good.
Suddenly, out of the very quiet scene that's just sitting there, we were aware that the studio was full of people who were waiting to say well done and goodbye, really.
Everybody wanted to be there. I mean, everyone wanted to be there for his last take as Gandalf.
I felt like I wanted to be there just to see it, because he might never put that hat on again.
I remember thinking about it at the time, that this is it for one of the most well-known sort of characters in movie history, really.
This is not just the last time Gandalf is doing a scene in The Hobbit, it's the last time he'll be in Middle-earth. So it was a huge thing.
This is honestly the last of these films. With me in it, anyway. No. It is the end of a long journey which began for me in last century, 1999.
Ian was the iconic Tolkien character, Gandalf, the wizard, the hat and the robes. He's the icon of these movies. So to see him shoot his last shot wearing that costume and wearing that beard and hair, and to know that he was never ever going to be seen in that costume again, you can't help but find those days very, very powerful. Okay, now here we go, Ian. This is your last take as Gandalf. Action.
Filming these films has been a huge part of my life because of the friends I've made and the distances I've traveled and the time I've spent. It's so powerful that you can't actually put words to it. I mean, what can you say? It really adds up, 13 years of experience. Good and bad and funny and sad, and I mean, you can't. I mean, you just can't. Split the rock. And it's something that he knows what that was like. I know what it was like. A lot of the crew know what it was like, and that's how it will always remain, just as a life experience for us that can't really be put into words. Okay, so let's give you a big round of applause, everybody. Again. Again. Yes. Thank you very much. A lovely scene to end on. Lovely scene to end on. When I'd finally finished, there was a moment of recognition and celebration and relief mingled with regret that it was over. But mission accomplished.
Yep.
Right.
Over the pipe.
Otherwise I'll be selling them. It isn't just the, oh, no more Gandalf for me. It's saying goodbye to all those colleagues. Good.
Good.
Very sweet. I don't feel I've said goodbye to Gandalf because I'm constantly being reminded by people who've enjoyed the films that Gandalf is alive and well. Although quite where he is at the moment, I don't know. Up to mischief somewhere.